What's cracking with you people? Anansi here, and welcome back to Jade. In the last one, we finished up all the side missions we can do with regards to the Necropolis, put all three spirits to rest, and resolved a looks like father-son feud with the Tanner's Fong. In this one, we're going to get a move on with the main story and enter into Lotus Assassin Fortress through this pagoda. Don't ask me about pagodas; I really don't know much about them. And a blessing board. So there's a staircase here, but it doesn't go anywhere. Looks like it broke. Now I remember the last time we were here, we saw Sagacious Zoo making his way into this building. So he must have done something with this. Placing the token from the Lotus Assassin recruiter in a recessed portion of this blessing board causes a barely audible click. The tomb opens. Enter the Lotus Assassin's fortress. Ooh, very fancy. The Lotus Assassin Fortress was once meant to be the tomb of Emperor Sun Hai upon his death. Well, if that doesn't... Well, never mind. And now that I think about it, Sun Lian already told us that. So, yeah, we can see Death Hand there. Not bad armor set, all things considered. As far as demon masks go, I would say his is pretty intimidating. I don't think I've seen a antagonist that stands out, or at the very least is as memorable as Death's Hands, at least appearance-wise anyway. You notice him when you see him, and yeah, I do like the idea that his armor is so black that it sucks the light in around him.
Ah, I was told to expect a new recruit, and you fit the description. Well done braving the necropolis. A troublesome walk, but it weeds out the weak. I am the Watcher, and this is the fortress of the Lotus Assassins. It was built amid the graves of 1,000 generations, the tomb of the Emperor at its core. Come, I will show you to the Hall of Induction. If you have servants, they will be allowed to accompany you, but you are responsible for their actions. Formed from the defunct Order of the Lotus Assassins are an extension of the Emperor, as dictated by Death's Hand, and implemented by Grand Inquisitor Jia. Thanks to her direction, we are becoming the face of power in the Empire. The Imperial Army will soon be stationed only at taverns and fish markets. The great Golem army constructed here will spread across the Empire. Our masters will be all-powerful. You will assist if you survive. Weak recruits die quickly. Master Gong is one of our trainers. He will be your master as you seek to become an assassin. He is harsh, but his knowledge will be invaluable to you. You will find him at the opposite end of the Hall of Induction, near the entrance to the central chambers. Do not keep him waiting.
I want to ask you some questions.
What would you like to know?
Tell me about the leaders of the Lotus Assassins.
Death's Hand is the one who brings us the will of the Emperor, but Grand Inquisitor Jia rules in his absence.
Tell me about Death's Hand.
Death's Hand rules us all. We obey him in all things, for he is the will of the Emperor. There is no more to tell. Our lives are his.
Okay, seems pretty dogmatic, but let's go with it. Tell me about Grand Inquisitor Jia.
Grand Inquisitor Jia is the foremost acolyte of Death's Hand. She was one of the first converted from the old Order of the Lotus, and she is fearsome in her power. You would be wise to never even give the appearance of challenging her. She takes offense easily, and even masters have been killed for displeasing her.
Where can I find Grand Inquisitor Jia?
She is not found by just anyone. Excel in your tasks, and perhaps you will be blessed with her attention. Fail, and you will be cursed with it.
I want to return to my questions.
I will answer, but you should not delay your duties.
Okay, tell me about this fortress in the Golem army.
This was to be the tomb of the Emperor. It rests in the heart of the necropolis. the accumulation of thousands of years of the Empire's dead. It was the perfect place to begin constructing the utterly loyal golem forces the Emperor demanded through Death's Hand. We could harvest all the spirits we need.
Why are you constructing golems?
They are the perfect soldiers. Unrelenting. Obedient. The ideal that all Lotus Assassins aspire to achieve. Slaves that die to be golems are blessed. The Imperial Army is weak, filled with questioning generals that do not know the path to glory. Even we assassins envy the pure subservience of a golem. Soon the will of the Emperor will be plain, and Death's Hand will step aside so he can enforce his glorious vision openly. Opposition will be impossible.
Why does he need golems? Who would dare oppose the Emperor?
There are those that think the Emperor must serve the will of the people, but they are traitors in disguise. His glory is our glory. Death's Hand will make it so.
Do you harvest bodies from the necropolis?
No, you fool. We harvest spirits. Many linger where their bodies interred, although the freshly dead produce a far more responsive golem. We now exclusively butcher slaves for this purpose. If you are lucky, you will be allowed to help in the process.
Okay,
I will answer, but you...
Did someone try to enter the fortress just before I did?
I saw no one. Only the most skilled of our number can enter this place without my knowing. I am the Watcher.
Okay, I don't have any more questions for now.
Go to your teacher, Acolyte. Do not keep him waiting. The far end of the hall, at the entrance to the central chambers.
Find Master Gong. Once we are close enough to the heart of the Assassins, we can prove Death's Hand is behind this golem army.
Okay, so we learned a lot there. Apparently, remember we saw, let's start with Inquisitor Gia. We saw her early in the game. Inquisitor Lim was trying to suck up to her with Gao the Greater by his side, and she was not having it. And now we're learning that she was the first to be converted from the old Order of the Lotus, and she is by far the strongest from what, at least from what the Watcher says. And that... Who is this? Another new acolyte? We'll make sure you know your place. Look, we have fresh blood, another soul for the forge, or a new pet for the masters. We don't need more competition for attention.
With the rise of the golems, we acolytes have fewer opportunities to serve. You are unwelcome.
Okay, so since we're doing Lotus Assassins, no need to be polite. Wait. I only think discern the Lotus Assassins. Let me pass. Out of my way, or you'll be dead when I'm running the place. You spout big words, but you are in no position to back them up.
We are losing status to the golem army, and you want to take more attention away from us? I think you need to prove your worth.
Do you think yourself worthy of making such a demand? What proof are you worthy of?
Should he prove his worth? No, he can defend it or die. If any of you think you can beat me, step up now, or stand aside. Ah, you realize the inevitability of this challenge. Good. That will make it easier to justify. You kill this fool.
More blood to stain my hands. A badge of honor.
Legendary strike.
And, of course, White Demon style, okay. And, of course, it comes a customary hazing when you join a fraternity. This is why I don't join fraternities, I think it's a waste of time. Anyway! And with that, we're done. Bah, you are skilled, but assassins are not just quick steps and cuts. We will see if you are strong enough. This isn't over.
So, there is no discouraging you. You have come to the heart of the Assassins, and you already have enemies. Are you certain you are ready for what you will learn here? I don't think the choice is yours anymore. This is my realm, where my demons hide. You will be forced to see them. We have discussed much in our time together, but not everything. I left some things buried, but now you have descended to their level.
Why did you come here? How did you get past the Watcher?
For all that he sees, he is blind if you know where the right shadows are. As for why I have come, I will decide that when I see how you react to this place. Go. Your new master is waiting. Secure a place near the heart of the Assassins, and you will be near your goal. Grand Inquisitor Xia is key.
Be careful of him. I never believed he was on our side.
And that's another thing we want to bring up. So, this is the Golem Army, and yes, no, wait, it's just the way the light hits them, I guess. Maybe some of them are JPEGs, but I think a lot of them are just flat textures. Anyway, yeah, that's another thing I want to bring up, is that we saw Sagacious walk in here, and there's only one way down, and the Watcher sitting right there waiting for him. And he slipped by without noticing. That tells you one of two things. A, Sagacious knows what he's doing, and by the Watcher's own admission, only the most skilled of their order can walk past him without him knowing. That tells you everything to know right there. Clay Golem. An active Clay Golem. Merchant Kia Zhang, slave.
Ukia kupabithita soki kustan fatiwe ia kune usote tateya?
Who are you? An acolyte not even in robes yet? Go sweep up after the golems. You don't have the authority to come to order anything from me. I have my own silver. You're not above personal sales, are you?
Wonoa ea sususatia sonsifonia sonsi ifok.
Well, you have a bit of personality about you. It won't last. They strip the recruits down to the essentials. Eventually, you'll be just a mask.
Oifo ea uksonko noko isansia.
My name, if you are still of a mind to care about names, is Merchant Kia Zhang. What can I do for you? Your surname is Kia? I knew a Kia Min once.
Koni uk noea kup sa ea sisia su ukot.
Did you? I have a niece by that name. Is she well? The last I saw of her, she was well.
Oifo ea uksonko noko isansia.
That is good to hear. It's been years. She was training at some out-of-the-way school, if I recall. Were you a classmate? What does she look like now? Well, you can. I think that how you answer this will determine how he responds to you. But if you remember, Kia Min was one of the acolytes that had things not gone to hell in a handbasket back in Two Rivers. She would likely have replaced Dawnstar and myself as the student to look towards for the new acolytes. And remember, she wore her hair in many knots. Hair was tied in many small knots.
Wokupkethita sumpono? Sathwa kawi ea ifiak?
Yes, that sounds like men. Her mother wears it that way. Since you are from another family, I'll give you a bit of a discount.
Ika kahia wo noka kike ea wo shathia oka uki ea aya yulia wai.
You can enjoy it until the Lotus Assassins strip your will, anyway. What do you have for sale?
Ni wo sosawa ea wak tasi no ni nano yopa napia ifa ea ok.
This and that. I don't stock much for the individual assassins. I mostly bring in large parts and supplies for their machines. Have a look. So yeah, and here's the Gem of Struggle, a closed fist. Every worthwhile goal requires hardship and struggle. A victory gained with ease means nothing. The struggle defines the worth of a goal. A true step on the path to power demands it. Only one who would seize and command his fate knows what true struggle is. The lives of those lost along this path to power aid those who will follow in their footsteps. So yeah, I would say a lot of his is basically like warrior stuff, but yeah, this is Kiamin's uncle. And
Are you buying, selling, or both? I'm here to help with all your trading needs.
okay, that's good to know. We're gonna hold off on buying anything else, but yeah, that's Kiamin's uncle, and if you answer that right, you get a discount. Mold Master Soto and Mold Master Gi. Let's see what they gotta say real quick.
What is this? Another acolyte feeling their way around in the dark?
It takes some time for their eyes and skin to adjust. For the first few weeks, they're as easy to kill as newborn kittens.
What do you want, acolyte? We've done our work for the day and don't want to be disturbed. Unless the press is broken, leave us.
What is your purpose here?
We keep the Golem Press functioning. Without us, the machines could not keep up the ambitious pace that Grand Inquisitor Gia has set.
It takes 2 minds, 2 pairs of hands to control the inner structures of the press. You fools just see the controls. Inside the machines, it is impossibly complex.
Tell me about the Golden Press.
You would not understand the complex balance of gears and sorcery that makes it function. Even flyers are simpler creations.
Who built the press?
By the will of the Emperor, Death's Hand had it created.
With parts stolen from some great celestial furnace.
That's nonsense. Not everything our craftsmen create is stolen or gifted from somewhere else. We have the capability on our own.
Okay, anything else?
If we must, what do you want?
Goodbye.
Leave us, acolyte.
Okay, so we learned something about the Golden Press. Now, I believe you're supposed to deal with a... there he is.
You are falling behind, gang. Grand Inquisitor Gia is not happy, therefore I am not happy. If your work does not improve, I will have to stop taking credit for it. The latest battalion of golems stand idle because of you. If the production of the Jade Golem is delayed again, perhaps your soul will fuel our next attempt. I trust I have made myself clear.
Yes, Master Shin.
I thought so. Do not let anything delay you further. It would be a shame to once more remind Grand Inquisitor Gia how incompetent you are. Yes, an absolute shame.
What do you want? So help me, if you're just some wandering slave, I'll have you butchered to color the clay golems. Wait, no. You are the one I was told to expect. A new recruit. As if I don't have enough trouble watching over the other fools in my care.
I will endeavor to serve as best I can. And you will find me a competent assassin, I assure you.
You are no assassin yet, fool, despite what you may have achieved outside. Here we strip you down to nothing and rebuild you as we like. If you survive, then you will be an assassin. For now, you are a Lotus Acolyte, and your life expectancy is not long. Follow me down to the central chambers when you are ready to begin your indoctrination. Do not keep me waiting. A battalion of golems stand idle.
Now, you recall, another thing I want to bring up is that the golems the Lotus Assassins have ambitions to replace the Grand Imperial Army, but the Lotus Assassins are being replaced by the golems. So things are getting very, very complicated within the power structure of the Jade Empire, and I'm wondering if it can even last. Let's go ahead and make our way down here, because I believe this is, we're going to go down here. And no, there is nothing behind that other door. I think it's literally just different decoration.
Damn the heavens for the fools I lead. I am destined to suffer for their incompetence, and I have one man to blame for it. Shin. The old scorpion had one of his followers shatter a spirit shard during training. There are ghosts everywhere. I've lost 8 slaves and 3 acolytes to them. You, New Blood, get over there and occupy those ghosts until I can get real Lotus Assassins to clean them up. Golem production cannot be delayed by this.
He has no confidence in you. He does not know your worth.
Go on. It's your first sacrifice for your new life. I'm sure it will be glorious.
Alright, and now we see that there's a lot going on inside the Emperor's Tomb. If I had to guess, if it's like any other, it is like what I believe, it's not what I believe, but what I've heard with regards to, scroll stand, keep it to the archive, folks have to deal with this in a second. It is like any other, instance that if I can remember of, Ancient Tradition. I believe a lot of emperors or rulers have themselves buried with an army. Forget what it is, but that's what it was. Anyway, let's go ahead and deal with this, shall we? Wait a minute, what?
I gave you an order, Acolyte. Go spill your new blood on those ghosts while I get some real assassins in here.
Okay, so we're just going to go over here. There are a couple of things we're going to do before we call it a part for today, but just want to go in here and deal with these ghosts. And honestly, I am so glad to be dealing with regular ghosts again because I do not like the Lost Spirits. I also like how the Watcher is essentially designed to look like a Lost Spirit. Okay. Man, there's a lot going on in Lotus Assassins Fortress, and I'm not gonna lie, I do. Okay, come on. I do like how they take the time to really establish like what exactly makes the Lotus Assassins tick, and like the atmosphere they strive in, because the maintainers of the press, they mentioned that the skin, something about the skin hasn't adapted, that your eyes aren't just acting. And I think, oops, excuse me about that, didn't mean to hit the mic. And it's just interesting because there's a whole thing going on with like why Lotus Assassins look the way they do and why they behave the way they do, even why their hands are black. And it is, ooh boy. Ooh boy. Anyway, take care of these ghosts, and like that, we should be done.
You live? And the ghosts are gone? Well, I did not expect this. It would seem that I have a competent acolyte for once. Interesting. Recruits are rarely of use before we strip them of their outside identities, but you beg a more interesting application. Could you be the one I have waited for?
I am no mere student. I earned my place here.
Your duties would normally include a period of deprivation in a cell until every hint of self and identity was stripped away. It is a draining, brutal awakening. I need a favored protege, someone willing to risk everything in my service. I will preserve your intellect, allow your inventive mind to remain, in exchange for 2 tasks. One is your duty anyway. The other is something to secure your future at the heart of the Assassins. Lotus Acolytes are utterly expendable. You deserve better.
So, favorite students are spared some pain. I agree.
You must operate the Soul Extractor, past the room where you fought the ghosts. In the coming weeks, you will help swell the ranks of the Empire's glorious Golem army. Golems are fueled by the souls of the dead. The recently dead, it turns out, make far more obedient and powerful golems, especially if brutally killed. We no longer mind the necropolis for souls that linger near their resting place. We butcher slaves instead, and extract their souls into spirit shards. Tonight we require a shard of exceptional quality for a Jade golem that will control the latest battalion of golems. You will oversee this in the extraction chamber.
And what is the second test, Master Gong?
You clearly deserve better than the short life of a regular acolyte. Your ability surprised me. Use it to surprise the others as well. Help me gain the power to help you. Kill Master Shin, my superior.
It cannot be as simple as that, or he would be dead by now.
You are perceptive. It is a tricky matter and therefore a good test for an otherwise expendable acolyte. Your kind die often in the machinations between masters.
We are tools to be cast aside, but if it gets us closer to our goal, we need to do as he says.
The politics of the Lotus Assassin Order are complicated. It's all right if murder is suspected, so long as it appears deserved because of incompetence.
How do I go about doing that?
That is your task to figure out, Acolyte. This is a dangerous place. Find a way for him to have an accident that disgraces him. I, of course, must not be implicated. Talk to my acolytes at their stations, in the Golem press room and the Soul Extractor. These are dangerous machines. Find a sharp corner Shin can crack his temple on. Return to me when you have an idea for an appropriate accident. I don't care what it is, as long as there is a corpse for me to gloat over in the end.
I have some questions, Master Gong.
Proceed, but do not waste my time.
I want to ask about golems and shards.
I will hear you.
What are spirit shards? Are they similar to essence gems?
Shards infuse the golems with life. Souls are extracted from the vessel that holds them, whether a corpse or a slave, and sealed within a crystal shard. The more recent and brutal the death, the more effective the golem. Our soul extraction process is deliberately painful. Essence gems are trinkets that can focus minimal amounts of chi. There are very few people who can make use of them effectively.
What is so important about the Jade Golem?
Golems are utterly obedient, but that does not mean that they are always easy to control. In great numbers, there can be discord. Jade Golems are infused with spirit shards made of multiple souls. They are highly ordered servants, and they serve as pacifiers for the other golems. One or two golems can be controlled by will alone, but an army requires these Jade intermediaries to maintain order. Such numbers are dangerous without a lieutenant.
Okay, how many golems have been produced?
I do not know. Hundreds? More? Many are here, waiting for a Jade Golem to command them. In the end, we will replace the weaklings of the Imperial Army entirely. Imagine it, Acolyte. An army of loyal, nearly indestructible golems, dedicated to enforcing the will of the Emperor under Death's hand. A beautiful sight.
Yeah, we're dealing with a very dangerous cult here. Let's go to my other questions.
Proceed, but do not waste my time.
Tell me about Master Shin.
You already know enough about him. He is insufferable, concerned only about his own advancement. He sabotages my efforts at every turn. When he is gone, I will ascend in rank, and I will reward acolytes that are loyal to me. Perhaps I will even introduce you to Grand Inquisitor Gia in the heart of the fortress.
Okay, goodbye for now.
Remember your tasks, Acolyte. Create a spirit shard in the extraction chamber for the Jade Golem, and find a creative way to kill and disgrace Master Shin. You can also seek training from Acolyte Trainer Gong. I'm sure you are her superior, but she might have something of use to you.
Alright, so there's a lot going on there, a lot of politics here. And I can't help but feel like Bioware took some inspiration from their time in Knights of the Republic, because the Sith Academy in Knights of the Republic, same structure. Okay, Acolyte Trainer Gong.
An acolyte of Gong's, So am I. Let's identify what training you need by sparring for a short time. Let's keep it non-lethal for now. You'll find you have enough enemies in this place. We acolytes are utterly expendable.
Very well, let's spar.
Good. Remember, no killing blows. I'm sure you'll have plenty of time to practice those later.
Alright, and there we go. Ha, I have a wind shield. Call me Avatar because you cannot break my wind barrier.
Well, you would appear to have more than a passing knowledge of combat. I could almost see some kind of flaw, but I was clearly outclassed.
Yes, you were. I knew this acolyte was something special, but I didn't think my trainer would be made to look like a fool. You, New Blood, you will be the trainer now. When I am promoted, you will train all my acolytes. You, assist him if you can even do that.
It would seem that you have taken over my duties. I will still serve as an advisor, as Master Gong ordered. There are techniques I can share.
I apologize for taking your position. Like, legit, I wasn't trying to do that.
In truth, I did not like being a trainer. Life for any of Master Gong's acolytes is rough and short, but especially so for trainers. Master Shin sees to that. My duties, your duties now, include training Master Shin's personal entourage. In the past, if a trainer was too good, Shin had that trainer killed to keep Gong weak. I think one member of his entourage is a full Lotus Assassin. I have survived by appearing unimportant and staying out of the fight between Gong and Shin.
I have access to Shin's personal entourage?
You are supposed to train the attendants in his entourage. Some need it, but if you seem too skilled, your next fight will be against the hidden Lotus Assassin. Besides, it wouldn't weaken Shin for long. I suppose he would be alone and more vulnerable if he had to fight right away, but he will replace them in time.
Would there be an outcry if one of Shin's entourage died during training?
Accidents happen, and even the attendants in his entourage are just acolytes and therefore are utterly expendable. There would not be much fuss. However, you would probably find yourself training the hidden Lotus Assassin in the next bout. Any skilled acolytes under Gong are quickly disposed of.
I want to get rid of them all. I want to get rid of all of them. How many can I fight at once?
Are you mad? Well, it doesn't matter. You must train one at a time. If you seem to be too strong a target, I'm sure they will accommodate your death wish.
Okay. What training services can you provide?
I have learned a number of techniques.
So she has a couple of things for you to learn right now, but most importantly, if you remember at the very beginning of the game, when the Spirit of the Water Dragon offered us the ability to learn fire or ice, whichever magic you didn't learn at the time, you can learn here. Now, what's this do in mastery? Only falls away the closed fist can use this gem. The goal of every struggle, no matter what its initial justification, is dominance. Power over others and over fate will determine the true outcome of everything. This gem helps focus that mastery of destiny into pure strength for the wizard's body, mind, and spirit. Basically, this is the opposite gem of unity. So, we have a decent amount of gold here, that's over here. To get a few of these other ones, you're going to need a couple of tricks. You ultimately want to get the Eye of Inner Darkness. And we will strive to try to get all of these before we leave the Lotus Assassins forces. But for right now, let's get the Ice Shard. Is there anything I can sell? What do I have more than one of? I have 2 Wanderer's Jewels. I only need 1 though. Oh, General Inner Genius. Now, I don't recommend doing what I do, because what I do is I like to keep a lot of this stuff. When I play these kind of games, what I usually do, Fearsome Visage. Ooh, +3 to Intimidation. Don't need that one for right now, so... Okay, we'll probably have to get this one next. So I like to try to keep a lot of the stuff I collect inside games as like a trophy, because I imagine that like my character holds them over, like holds onto them when the adventure's done.
How can I assist you?
So I want to ask you, before we do any training, how did you come to join the Assassins?
I showed my ability in the arena, and when I asked, their recruiter agreed. I have only one skill, and this was the best place to exploit it.
What ability do you mean?
Combat. Killing. The army was too strict. The arena too tame. Here, when they want an enemy destroyed, that enemy is destroyed. sometimes family and all. We are all here for one reason, and that includes you. We are killers, plain and simple. There are no Lotus Assassins with hearts of gold.
Okay. Goodbye for now.
Goodbye. If you wish to begin your likely short career as trainer, Attendant Keaton waits with her fellows at the doors to the inner chambers. I'll say this. If you are going to try and fight them, hold nothing back. They will be trying to kill you.
Okay then. So we got another mission we can do. We're going to defeat Shin's personal entourage. The archive.
Greetings, young Lotus Acolyte. I am the Keeper of the Archive. What can this humble servant of the Order do for you?
How long have you kept your archive?
Our Order has existed for 20 years. I have chronicled our new role and rise to glory. Much is mundane, minor shifts in power, the results of various campaigns. True secrets are held only in the minds of Grand Inquisitor Gia and Death's Hand.
I want to ask, the assassinate Astoria? That cannot be your only duty.
I fight. I bear the stains of bloodshed with pride, as all assassins are trained to do. But records must be kept, if only to know who to make examples of. You will not find an assassin who is shy about killing, Acolyte. None of us are here to learn to be vicious.
To ask about what's in this archive.
I will answer within the limits of what someone of your ranking is permitted to know. Recent or old entries, you must give specifics.
Okay, tell me about the Lotus Assassin leadership.
All you are allowed to know of your masters is that Death's Hand is the will of the Emperor, and Grand Inquisitor Gia rules this place for him. Obey their wishes when they are made apparent to you, or you will be destroyed. That is all an acolyte needs to understand. You may, however, ask about your Master Gong. He is not important enough to warrant secrecy.
Okay, tell me about Master Gong.
A thoroughly average assassin relegated to indoctrinating acolytes due to his failure to demonstrate leadership qualities. He is not well liked. His mediocrity is magnified by the successes of Master Shin, an assassin who arrived at the same time and has catapulted through the ranks. Coincidentally, Master Shin is the one who personally documented many of Gong's failures. There is, of course, nothing strange about this.
Are you sure? Because it sounds like Gong royally screwed, not Gong, Shin royally screwed Gong.
I will answer with...
Okay, tell me about the time the Order was formed.
You are permitted to know that Death's Hand returned from Dirge as the Emperor's trusted confidant after all others around him proved to be traitors. After defeating the Drought, the Emperor was no longer a slave to the natural order of things. He needed utterly loyal disciples to replace and kill doubters. The Order of the Lotus was quickly transformed from its weak role under Prince Qin. Death's Hand was the new way, and those who disagreed were destroyed.
No one questioned such a brutal change?
All who did were killed, except one who first hid his doubt. On a mission to cleanse a traitor's family, he rejected Death's Hand and turned on his fellows. The bodies were unrecognizable. More have died to him over the years, but few remain who know his face. He was our most skilled, most vicious, and most hated.
So this rogue assassin escaped punishment?
He escaped death, but there is no greater penalty for a Lotus assassin than to be removed from the sight of Death's Hand and our Emperor. No doubt many of his years have been worse than death. Once you are truly indoctrinated, you will know the hunger to serve that such loyalty brings.
What was this rogue assassin called?
His name is not spoken to the acolytes. You must understand that to oppose Death's Hand is to lose all connection to your masters. Even if you live, you do not exist. There are few fates worse than being reduced to nothing. Lotus assassins can belong nowhere else. Service to Death's Hand is your life.
Sounds very egotistical. I honestly doubt that. What was so different in the way you were trained?
Master Gong has been lax in indoctrinating you. No doubt he wants to make use of your fiery disposition before stripping you of it. You will come to understand. Soon you will have nothing else but your life here. Your role as a Lotus Assassin leaves no room for anything other than loyalty to Death's Hand and the Emperor.
Okay. Tell me about recent campaigns.
Slaves continue to be brought to the fortress from the wall and unimportant villages that have no voice to object. Our golem force continues to grow. Operations in Tien's Landing have temporarily halted, but we received glorious news that a hated enemy of the Emperor has been delivered to the palace. The accomplices who hid him were butchered, their pitiful village razed. We look forward to a day when all who oppose our masters are dealt with.
Who was his enemy?
It is unimportant. All that matters is that he was caught. We don't need to know any more than that. It is a glorious validation of all that we do to serve our masters.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Acolyte. Serve our masters well.
So you were talking about Two Rivers and the capture Master Li, and if it wasn't obvious, the one traitor who left is Sagacious Zoo. And we learned from this Keeper of the Archive that he was by far the best assassin in the Order. That's who you've been traveling with this entire time. And he honestly seems like a nice guy. Like if you paid attention, ignore the halo, I am a murderous monster at heart. But if you paid attention, he only has your best interest at heart, but most of it involves trying to keep you ignorant to the atrocities that the world can bring. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and read all of these real fast and call it part here because, well, let's be honest, you don't want to waste too much time in the next part of this. So, right, this scroll stand I think you cannot actually read from. I think there are a few of these you can't read from. The Grand Inquisitor's will. In your obedience to Death's Hand, do not neglect to heed the complex demands of our mistress Gia. Second in glory only to the hand of Death himself. Our mistress demands that all of her servants think clearly and completely in all that they do. She expects that all those assassins exercise their minds as thoroughly as they suppress the impulses of their hearts. As Grand Inquisitor, Mistress Gia knows all things that happen within the fortress and without. Not even the deepest secrets of the most remote places of the Empire escape her knowledge. Mistress Gia demands that we be cunning, ruthless, and complete in our loyalty to her master and ours, Death's Hand. To disrespect her to disrespect the Empire, the Emperor, and Death's Hand himself. Okay. Configuration of the rabbit. And this is the second to last configuration we need. We'll get into that in the next part. Trust me on this. So that's pretty much it. There's not too much else to learn in here. Okay, I thought we had to read all these, but no, it's just two. Well, not two, it's like 3, 4. My bad. The Way of the Lotus. Many acolytes misinterpret the tenets of the Lotus Assassin Order. Stated simply, there are no tenets save one: obedience. Some believe we preach strength overall, but one must be strong to even be considered for recruitment. We are assassins, not monks. Our order does not teach as much as act. Leave the teaching to the scholars in their wasteful garden. Our mandate is to serve the will of the Emperor through Death's Hand and Grand Inquisitor Gia. Because they demand strength, we give them strength. Because they demand cunning, we give them cunning. Most of all, they demand obedience, and so we give them obedience. To do otherwise would be to spit in the eyes of those who hold our spirits in their hands. Acolytes may create philosophical justifications for the lives they have chosen, but in the end, our master's wills are the only truth and the only law we serve. And finally, the undeniable fire. Of all threats to young Jade and Fireface, the greatest was the barbarian warlord Xing Sai. Titled The Tree That Defies the Fire, Xing Sai managed to organize the barbaric horse lords into an efficient and deadly machine of warfare, conquering much of the lands to the west and north of the Empire before coming to bear on the borders of the Jade Empire itself. Xing Sai whose savagery denied even the Great Wall built to keep his people out, led his hungry, maddened people to attack our fledgling empire in a rabid attempt to destroy all that would become our advanced and prosperous civilization. So vicious and deadly was Xing Sai's attack that it roused the insular spirit monks from their temple in the land of howling spirits to come to the Empire's aid. Left unconquered by the devouring Horse Lord army, the monks of Dirge stood alongside the Empire and, in a great battle recounted by sages, playwrights and scholars around the known world, laid waste to Xing Sai and his ravenous army of wild bowmen. With the help of the monks from the Dirge, the Empire finally burnt down the tree that defies the fire, and our glorious land has never since faced so deadly a foe. So that gives a little bit of history about the spirit monks, that at one point they saved the Empire. Anyway, in the next one, we will, do more preparations in order to deal with Lotus Assassins Fortress. I've been Anansi, you've been awesome, and I'll catch you later.